Avila. I'm a commissioner of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. And today we are going to talk about the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. And I have as my guest one of the founders, Rodrigo Garcia. Ron, thank you for being on my show.
Thanks for having me here.
And let's talk about the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. How long have you been involved with the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers?
From the very beginning, from inception, been 40, how many years is that? 1974.
1974?
Yeah, we were planning it from 1973 on. Let me tell you a little bit of history.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I was working for the city of Los Angeles, and there was a group called La Seca that was an employee association. It's for basically Latinos, work for the city. They had grievances because they weren't being promoted, there's discrimination, things like that.
Yeah.
So this group started, it's interesting, the people that started La Seca were engineers.
Yeah.
But they represented all the Latinos employees. And anyway, I joined that group, and that's how I got my organizational skills. You know, I learned how they organize.
Yeah.
That helped a lot.
Yeah.
And so one day, one of our meetings, this fellow from the county of Los Angeles, the flood control, his name is Fernando Nunez, he
Yeah.
came over to speak to us, and he told us about this program on a national basis. They were basically to increase the number of minorities in engineering. And it was under the National Academy of Engineering and the National Science Foundation and the Sloan Foundation back east. And so I became the liaison. Ernie Valdez, the president of La Seca, appointed me. He says, you need to be the liaison, learn more about that, with that program, and come back and report back. So I attended a number of meetings. I learned about it. I got excited. I came back. I recruited 4 or 5 members actually from La Seca, and I suggested to them we start SHPE. And they all agreed. And basically we said, look, we got to get back to the community. We didn't know exactly what to do, but we're engineers. So we said, well, maybe we could be role models. And we said, yeah, that's at least that we could do that. And so our mission at that time, you know, was to increase the number of Hispanics in engineering. Okay.
Yeah.
And we were all civil engineers, so we were all members of the American Society of Civil Engineers, and that became our motto. We said, we want to be like ASCE. We want to have a national organization with chapters and membership throughout the nation. And we quickly adapted that, and I became the national president. I was the first president. We have 5 members, right? So I was the national president. And my business card said national president, and also we had a P.O. box across the street at the federal building. And we used to call that our national headquarters. So that was the marketing that we provided. So we used to knock on all the doors, and the first membership drive we had was California. What we did, we took the roster of professional engineers.
Yes.
We looked through it and we found all the Hispanic surnames, and I think it came out like 500. And we sent them all a little brochure. We came out with a little brochure and a letter asking them to join. We sent it out to them, and we got our first 50 members. And one of them was in Spain. The guy joined us, he was in Spain. That was really fascinating. Of course, we got some people that didn't necessarily agree with what our mission was. Sure. Basically, they felt they made it on their own.
Yeah.
But the reality is that we need to help each other. So that's how we started.
And also, what motivated you to get the founders to establish SHPE? I mean, you had to work hard to say, look, we're going to start this group, because, you know, it's hard to start an organization. So the other people wanted to help, and then much feeling of this mission.
Well, yeah, but we did have the benefit of being in La Seca, which
Okay.
gave us those skills.
Those skills,
And every one of us had those skills.
organization skills.
Organization skills. So immediately, you know, I think it's funny because this is a funny story because most organizations when they first start, they have a hard time coming up with a name, you know. And they spend hours and
Yeah.
hours on that, maybe days,
Yeah.
maybe weeks.
Yeah,
But we quickly came up with a name,
yeah.
and we quickly became incorporated.
Oh, excellent.
And the reason we felt that we had to help the community because we felt there was not enough Hispanics even knew about engineering. So we felt that it was really important that we needed to promote it.
Now, do you feel SHPE has made any progress in its mission?
Absolutely. In 1974, the percent of Hispanics in engineering careers, at that time engineering careers, STEM was not a word that was used in those days. And STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But in those days, the participation was only less than 1%. And today, it's around 7%. So we've increased considerably, but I think we're still way behind. We have to double that.
Sure, sure. And now, Rod, what are some of the programs that SHPE is involved with?
So we have a number of programs, some K through 12
K through
programs.
12?
We have programs for the professionals. We have programs for our students. And we have programs within our programs for the parents, you know. At a national conference, we have, well, you have to go, you haven't been to lately to our national conference. Anybody and everybody should go to one of those.
Yes.
They were so inspiring because you go to the national conference, there's like 7,000 people show up.
7,000 now?
7,000.
Oh, my God.
7,000 show up. They're professionals, they're engineering students, they're all these students from different universities,
Yeah.
and they got their suits on. They're pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You talk to them, and I don't know about you, but they know more about technology than I do.
Well, sure, a new technology, I mean,
They're way ahead of us.
yeah.
So that's very impressive. But we have one program there at the university, not the university, at the conference, that is focused on exposing the parents and the junior high and high school kids.
Mm-hmm.
So they come. There may be about 500 students
Yeah.
come, and
Excellent.
they're exposed to all this. I mean, the corporations come in and
Yeah.
they provide instructors and workshops, and they just kind of go
For the
through
student,
it,
yes.
get the kids excited about
And-
engineering.
And this is free.
Free.
The students don't have to pay.
They don't have to pay.
Excellent.
That's the junior high and high school.
Yeah.
The college students do pay, and they raise their money. You know, when they go back to their universities, there's a number of ways they raise money.
Yes, yes.
So they pay their way.
Now, Rod, do you still believe there is a need for SHPE to exist?
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, we're at 7%,
Yeah.
right? The participation rate, and really the percentile of Hispanics, I think, population-wise in the nation is like 18%.
Yes.
So we need to get close to that. We need close to 18%. So we have to more than double what we have now. We're only at 7%. So that means, well, we can't wait another 40 some years. We got to move faster, right?
Yes.
I mean, we started off with what, 5 members,
Yes.
and we're now at 10,000. But that's not enough either, because, like, for instance, we've had like 40,000 students go through our pipeline
Yes.
and become professionals.
Yeah.
So we really should have 40, 50,000 members already.
Well, yeah.
But besides that, each one of these people have to become ambassadors, right?
Yeah.
We need to more than quadruple our efforts, right? So yeah, there's a lot of need and we need to kind of motivate that. And that's what we're working on now. We got a pretty good board now and we got a pretty good staff.
Yeah.
We got, new CEO. We're ready to go. We're really moving.
Now, the next conference now, did you have yours in 2018 already and you're preparing for 2019?
Yeah, our next conference is in Cleveland.
Excellent, and that's the Midwest.
Yeah, it's going to be November 7th through, I think it's about to the 14th or 15th.
Okay, hear this now. The next conference for SHPE is in 2019 in Cleveland, Ohio, the Midwest, because you have your conference in every area of the United States every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have them in different locations throughout we've been to the West Coast, to the East Coast, to the South,
Yeah.
To Seattle.
Yeah.
We've been everywhere, yeah.
Well, because the Hispanics are throughout the United States,
Yeah.
and we have to educate them and let them be informed about the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, showing that they're not the only one that wants to go to college, that there are an awful lot of other Hispanics that are going to school, and they want to meet each other.
And not only go to school, but get a STEM career, because STEM careers pay well.
Oh, yes, they pay well. Now, what more can the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers accomplish?
What more? Well, I think I touched on it a little bit, but basically, like I said, we need to double, our numbers. But the way I believe that we need to do it, I mean, we're doing all these programs, and we do go out and our student chapters and professional chapters, they go out to the community,
Yes.
and they sensitize the community, and they have events, and they promote engineering. But I think we've got to go more. I like your idea.
Well, and that's why I asked that question, Rod. I asked that question because I'm an elected official. I'm the commissioner of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. And every time we send out a request for proposals for doing some of our engineering projects, I haven't seen any Hispanic engineering firm submitting their proposals as a prime.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're in with a team as sub-consultants. But I haven't seen any as a prime. And I think that's where SHPE maybe might develop a program for how to start your own engineering company. Like I'm in Chicago, and I think in Chicago there's a SHPE chapter that handles the Midwest. But there's very few Hispanic engineers firms.
Right.
See, and so we have to maybe, I don't know, change the attitude and take a risk.
Yeah, so
And it's a risk.
So what we're doing, speaking to them, because interesting enough, when we started SHPE in 1974,
Yeah.
we had entrepreneurship in it.
And to make sure.
We said it. I mean, we said it. I don't think we knew what it was, but we said it. And over the years, I have been promoting it within SHPE and outside of SHPE.
Yeah.
So right now, the board is sensitized to it.
Yeah.
Right now, we're focusing more on the professionals because we're doing some transitioning.
Yeah.
Okay? Because again, we've had 40,000 go through the pipeline,
Excellent.
but we need a lot of them to come back, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because we only have, I think, of the 10,000 members, 2,000 are professionals, and then the rest are students. So we need to bring them back. Some of those people are entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
and some are doing very well.
Yeah.
But I agree, the board agrees that entrepreneurship is important, and they want to promote it also. So, but it's like anything else, Frank, you need resources, right?
Yeah.
We don't have enough. We pull in, okay, our budget's like maybe 7 million a year,
Yeah.
but it's not enough. We need more resources. We need to double that at least,
Yes. Yeah.
But you're right. We need that. The other thing we need, and what you're doing here today, is get the word out.
Yeah, get the word out. Yeah.
Get the word out. And we need to how are the parents gonna know about us?
Yes.
We gotta talk to them, and you know, you can't talk to them one-on-one, you know, like, you know, when I started SHPE, I remember I used to go and talk to the high schools
Yeah.
and talk to one-on-one the students, and this Dr. Fennell, who was with at that time the National Academy of Engineering, he was heading up the committee on minorities in engineering. He told me, Rod, you can't do things one-on-one. You gotta hit the masses. And how do you do that, Frank? You're doing the masses now,
Oh,
right?
yes. Well, when I run for office, I do one-on-one, but I have to reach for its time. And you only have so much time in your life.
Yeah.
So if you one by one, you're gonna be very few, so you have to, social media, TV shows, talk to groups, set up a seminar. I mean, this is what one has to do.
That's what we need.
Yes, that's what we.
That's absolutely what we need.
Now, what are some of the obstacles SHPE has experienced over the years? Because you must have experienced a lot of obstacles. 44 years.
Lots of obstacles, right?
Oh, yes.
It's like a business.
Oh, yes, yes.
You know, when we started SHPE, I mean, we started SHPE before I became an entrepreneur, right? Before
Yeah.
I started my own company.
Yeah.
I was working for the city as a civil servant
Yeah.
at the time. So it was a business.
Yeah.
In other words, it was a nonprofit organization, but you know, there's two parts to it, right? One was the membership, which was difficult enough, right?
Yeah,
Organizing them and promoting them and, you know, giving them what they wanted. And the second part of that was, you know, having how to what's the word, manage it.
yes.
And we needed money to make things happen, right? You need dollars.
Yeah.
So we were very fortunate that the right, you know, things happened. You know, this person, at that time, aerospace was big in California.
Yes.
So we our organization started off in the city of Los Angeles, right? Working City Hall, right? We're all working for
Yeah.
So we said, you know, to grow this thing, we cannot keep it here. We need to grow it outside.
Yeah.
So we found this gentleman, his name is Raul Alvarado, and he was working for Rockwell International.
Yeah.
And we said, we gotta make him president because he will help us bring in the aerospace.
Yeah.
And then he knew a person named Alva Donnell.
Yeah.
And Alva was a real gift to us. Alva Donnell, she would run a lot of events. She's like an outreach person for Rockwell. And she knew how to raise money.
Yeah.
So she taught us how to raise money with the corporations. Because at that time, Frank,
Yeah.
most nonprofit, Hispanic or even black or different nonprofits got their money from the federal government.
Okay.
And there was a lot of conditions, strings with it.
Sure.
But with the corporations, there weren't as many strings. It was like, you know, we just convinced them that was a good thing to do, that they, you know, the benefit to them is being able to grow some engineers.
Yeah, because the minority firms are looking for the federal government to help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were able to develop our, you know, campaign to develop the funding, and Alva was very important because she brought in a lot of aerospace corporations to our functions. We had our functions. So we started to develop our income through having banquets and stuff like that. That's how we started. And to a large extent, the conference we have now kind of evolved to where it's at now. But we need more than that. We need money from, you know, donations, like grants. So we need to get some bigger dollars now.
Yeah.
So the obstacles were dollars.
Yes.
Obstacles were organization. I mean, let's face it, we're growing this organization. We have 50 members. They were all California.
In
They weren't
California.
all, you know, Los Angeles. So all of a sudden you gotta, how are you to manage that? You know?
Yeah.
So we started, okay, let's organize it. Let's have chapters.
Yeah.
Let's have them, you know,
Yeah.
work on their particular area. And of course we had to volunteer our time.
Yes.
And Frank, I tell you, man, I never worked so hard in my life. We worked day and night, trying to start this. It was a business,
And, yeah, and you had to organize throughout the United States, one some obstacles that how
Here's
do
an
you,
obstacle for you.
how do you reach people in Chicago and New York and
Not only-
and Oregon?
Not only that, I'm gonna talk to you something. Hispanics are not monolithic, right? They're not the same.
Yeah.
So let's say in New York you have Puerto Ricans,
Yeah.
right? In Florida you might have Cubans.
Cuba, yeah.
And then you have different, what's the word, identities,
Yeah.
like at that time La Raza, Chicanos, Mexican Americans
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Mexicans.
Yeah.
So you got all these Peruvians,
Yeah.
and everybody has their own pride,
Yeah,
and their culture.
Right, pride and culture, yeah.
So how do you bring them all together?
But we're all Hispanic.
But at the time,
We're all Hispanic.
at that time, they weren't thinking that way.
Yeah.
They were thinking parochial.
Yeah,
So another reason we picked the word Hispanic at that time,
Yeah.
because we knew that it was kind of like more encompassing. And our vision was to say, you know what, we've got to unite these different groups together. And that was one of the obstacles we worked on,
yeah,
and it helped. But we had to do some negotiations.
yeah,
We had to go knock on doors. We had to go convince them. It was a lot of work. We went to the East Coast a couple of times. The first time we went, we started a chapter over there, and it died after
Yeah.
a while. Then we went back and
Yeah.
got it going again. And the East Coast were more at that time. That area was more Puerto Rican,
yeah,
and so they didn't feel as comfortable because
Yeah.
we were, our board was mostly Mexican.
yeah.
And so the thing we had to do was give up power, so to speak, say, hey, what do you want? You can have it,
I think that's the key, that you have to give up power. The Society of Hispanic Engineers includes all Hispanic, and you gotta give up power so everyone could participate in the organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the key. What's
Yeah.
power?
Yeah, because I saw, I was intuitive about that because I saw other Latino organizations that the leader a lot of times wouldn't let go,
Right, right.
and basically, it became like one person
Yeah.
organization, or
Right.
even though they might have been powerful,
Sure,
but they didn't want to give up power.
right.
And I purposely set it up so that we had elections and that I would step down.
Yes,
I would always stay around,
yeah,
but it was important to get them to buy in
yes,
and to make it their own.
yes, yes. Make it their own.
Make it their own.
Yeah, yeah, forget about power.
Yeah, forget
I
about
mean,
it.
power. Now, are there still any obstacles going on now in 2018?
Well, the obstacles are, always the same, like a business, right? Like a business grows, right? Your business, right?
Yeah.
You go through different stages.
Yes, yes,
So we've gone through different stages as a business and also as a membership
yeah,
organization, because you have all these members and these chapters and they all have their ideas and thoughts, so you have to work with them and get consensus. So that's been not an obstacle, but actually a healthy
sure.
kind of, what's the word, evolution. The business part of it has been, I think, because a lot of the business, again, it's like engineers aren't necessarily good business people, right?
Well, we should be, because if we want to start an engineering business.
Yeah, but you should be, but that doesn't mean you are. It's like, you could be anything, you could be a good baker or whatever, but you don't necessarily do good business. So I think to an extent, SHPE needed to develop its business acumen.
Yeah.
And that was one of the obstacles.
Yeah.
It's been evolving
Yeah.
quite a bit, and I think right now we have a very good board,
Yeah.
we have a very good staff, but we've had our hiccups,
Sure.
like any business, right?
Yeah,
You're doing well, and then all of a sudden, boom,
yeah.
something happens, our finances don't quite
Yeah,
make
yeah,
it,
yeah.
somebody's not watching the budget.
Yeah.
We've gone through those stages,
Yeah.
and we think that's behind us.
Yeah.
So right now, we're really poised to go to the next level.
Yeah, because in business, you need marketing, you need accounting, you need maybe loan money to run your business. I mean, you gotta have that whole facet, and engineers are not accountants. You know, we're not marketing people.
No.
Well, some of us could go out and market, but you need a different discipline to run an organization.
Yeah. Remember, we were all civil servants when this first started.
Yeah.
I didn't have any business background.
Well, I give you credit for being one of the founders of the Society of Hispanic Engineers.
It was fun.
Yes, I
It
mean.
still is. Still fun. I'm still involved.
Yeah,
I'm on the board, you know.
yeah, good, excellent. Now, what do you believe would help SHPE can get involved, continue its mission? And how can they be involved more and better achieve it? You know, because your group, SHPE has been in existence for 44 years. Right?
Yes.
And you saw a lot of things, but how could they better achieve what they're doing?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up again. I think what you're doing today,
Yeah.
getting the word out,
Yes,
that's key.
yes,
I believe we need to really bombard the Hispanic community.
yes,
All the different, all the parents, it's gotta be on the tip of their tongue what STEM is.
yes.
Rather than, catching them, Latinos after they're in high school and they're trying to think what they're gonna be, we've gotta capture them in the womb. We gotta capture them, and we gotta capture the parents so that when their kid is, already 1, 2 years old, they're already telling them, you're gonna be an engineer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're gonna be a computer scientist, you're gonna be a biologist,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
We gotta push it now. And so how we get that out, what you're doing here is part of that communication, right?
and that's why I think it's important that SHPE has a program from K to 12, because K is very important. Because the parents could have different programs on teaching your kids on math, type of programs for the kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and so it's important to start developing their mind.
Yes.
And also, I know we're engineers. I'm a civil engineer, you're a civil engineer, but we also educate our kids in the arts too. Art is very important.
Yeah,
Have them a left and a right brain.
There's STEM and then there's STEAM.
Yeah.
So you put the A in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Art.
But that's why it's important, and that's why I like to see you be involved more. And how long do you think you'll be involved with SHPE?
Well, I can't give up
Yeah,
because this is my baby.
yeah.
And I want to see, like when you have a kid,
Yes.
when do you give up with your kid?
No, you never get up. You always trying to help your kid, even though they're 5 years old or 6 years old, they're still a kid. You always think of them as a kid.
Absolutely. It's the same thing. Right?
Yeah.
These are my children.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, like I first got involved with SHPE in Chicago, and so that's how I got involved. And they had the Midwest chapter in Chicago, and you got chapters throughout the whole United States now.
Yeah.
And that was a big accomplishment, a very big accomplishment of starting all these chapters. And all these chapters, members of the chapters are all role models. We're all role models, and engineering involves every facet. You could be a civil, a mechanical, electrical. It involves a lot of different type of engineers.
Yeah.
And also our world is getting smaller.
Oh, yeah.
That our engineers don't realize that they could start their own company, and they could start their own company. I mean, some we professionals is okay. Some could be teachers, it's okay, and some could be starting their own companies. Right.
I like your thinking because I've always thought the same thing. As you know, I started my own company.
Yeah, and me too. I had my company for 30 years.
Yeah.
I was successful. I did okay.
And I did okay too. So I started the company and when I left the city,
Yeah.
so 1981 around there.
Yeah.
And I grew it to around about 85 people one time.
Yeah.
We did everything, construction management, engineering. We did everything, and I still have a company, but now it's,
Sure.
I'm towards the end of my career.
Sure, yeah. Now, Rod, how could you get more of the Hispanic be involved in engineering? Right.
How could we
Let me explain that question again. How do you help do more, or explain how you think they could start their own business?
Well, I think we have to do the same thing. We have our conferences already.
Yeah,
And instead of just focusing on the professionals and the students,
Yeah.
we need to focus on the entrepreneurs. And just exposing them. By the way, I put on a few classes on entrepreneurship.
that's good. That's
Yeah, at the conference.
Yeah.
But we need more of that. They need to know that, like engineering or STEM,
Yeah,
they need to be exposed to entrepreneurship. And so I put on this, I go to A to Z on what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And I really promote it when I talk to any student. Whatever.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do? I think we gotta promote it through SHPE on a major scale. And I think that'll also help us bring in more professionals too, because what happens, they go through the pipeline, the students,
yeah,
and then the ones that come back want to give back.
yeah,
But then the ones that, kind of making a living, trying to survive, whatever,
yeah,
they don't know what's in it for them.
yeah,
And I think if we show them that they can also, end up being, high-level managers or, CEOs.
yeah, CEOs, yeah.
And
That's the key too.
and entrepreneurs, we gotta bring that to their
Yeah,
attention.
Yeah, yes, that's the key. Managers, CEO, entrepreneurship, yeah, everything they could grow and ship.
Yeah. So we're gonna do
Well,
that.
Rod, thank you for being on my show, I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having
And
me, Frank.
this is Rod Garcia, one of the founders of the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers.